Hi, I'm Alex Vita, CEO of American Shower Glass. We manufacture and install custom-made frameless shower enclosures across Florida. Today is our first episode of our podcast, and I have a very special guest, Dave Klinger, the president and owner of Luxury Bath of Tampa Bay. They are one of the biggest bath remodels in West Coast and Central Florida, with a concept of one-day remodel. Let's get in. Dave, I'd like to thank you. Today is our first episode for American Shower Glass podcast. I have very special guest here, Dave Klinger. He's the business owner for Luxury Bath. And today we are going to talk about the history of his company, talk about the challenge to be an entrepreneur in the construction industry here in Tampa Bay area and Central Florida. The idea is having a very nice conversation. I was checking your LinkedIn and you start on a Deloitte, right? Talk more about that. Talk about your history and your background.
Yeah, my background's a little unique for our industry. I was a CPA originally, working for Deloitte in Minneapolis many moons ago. And then I was in corporate America for a while before I moved down to Tampa and wanted to have my own business and do something different than what I had been doing. So I basically purchased Luxury Bath of Tampa Bay.
Okay. I thought you were the founder.
Well, Luxury Bath is a franchise model across the country. So
understood.
I initially bought it's really a dealer network. I purchased the first one out of Tampa Bay.
Interesting.
And then I also have expanded throughout the entire Central Florida, including Orlando, Daytona, the East Coast.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And how many years ago you have started Luxury Bath?
I started 17 years ago.
Wow.
And I think there was about 3 employees at the time.
Really?
Yep. So started with very little, and a lot of 17 years of a lot of blessings, and now
Excellent.
we've got on average 10 or 11 crews going out daily.
That's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of the biggest bath remodels in Florida? I have heard you are doing hundreds of renovations every month, right?
Yeah, we are. We're one of the largest in Tampa Bay for sure, and within the state of Florida, and then within the Luxury Bath Dealer Network, which is a national network. We're one of the very top as well. We've received the top dealer in the Southeast for the last 7 years that I can
Very
remember.
nice. Congratulations
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
And I was checking, and you guys have a concept for renovation different than other bath remodels. You have the concept for like a very short time renovation in and out. Talk more about that.
We do really everything in the bathroom, but our forte is working on the 1 or 2 day remodels, which are the high-tech polymer solution, acrylic systems. The concept is you can do things very efficiently, unlike traditional tile work, which requires demolition, which is a very messy process, and then having to rebuild things from scratch and then tile one piece by one piece. This concept is we can get the demolition done very quickly and then basically do, in effect, usually a 4-piece system where there's a prefabricated bathtub or shower base, and then 3 walls that can look a lot like tile or granite, travertine.
Very nice.
A lot of different looks, but it's a nice, efficient in and out process so that people aren't without a bathroom for a week or 2. In today's world, people are so busy, working 5-6 days a week, and what people don't want is a renovation that lasts weeks, if not months in some cases. So the concept of being able to, someone having a Friday off typically from work, or has to take a day off of work and get the bathroom remodeled in that short of time without having to take time off for work, and instead of using that time for vacations and things that are more fun than having construction done in your house. So that's a big part of it, and just having as little mess as possible, getting in and out, containing dust, and a huge transformation in a very short amount of time.
That's very nice. And a simple thing, in and out. That's kind of funny because when I'm not the founder of American Shower Glass as well. A lot of people knows my history, but I started when I moved from Brazil doing some house flippings, and I did this for several years. But in Brazil, I was a sales director for a bigger IT company called Totus, selling ERP TOTUS is the biggest one in Brazil, as SAP and Oracle is in the United States. It was very nice, but when I shift my life to restart in America, I went to a totally different direction and went to the construction industry, buying distressed properties and doing renovations. And I became in love of that. And why you decide when you shift your career from CPA on a big company, going through solo entrepreneurship, doing bath renovation, why you did that? Because of margins, scale? What was your click and say, okay, I'm gonna go in this direction?
Yeah, there was a few steps in between being a CPA until I purchased Luxury Bath. I was in some consulting roles, some executive positions within Fortune 50 companies. So I really had a lot of experience with different leadership positions. Did some consulting for construction firms, very large construction firms. So I've always had an interest in the construction industry. And after being in corporate America for a while, I always wanted to. The reason I got into accounting in the first place was I knew it'd be a great foundation for owning a business of any kind. And so the combination of that background in business and interest in construction led me to a path of finding Luxury Bath, and I'm kind of proud that it started as nothing and grew it into one of the larger companies in the state of Florida.
Yeah, you are on the right spot. That's my opinion. I bought American Shower Glass from a guy. He was founded the company a couple years before I bought. He decided to move back to Brazil, and he was my vendor for glass enclosure, that time. And one of the things that took my attention, and that's why I bought the company, was the in and out process as you have. I never had an idea that the bath renovation business could be in and out as the shower door, but you guys are on the same concept, like a lot of appointments, sales team, in and out sale, in and out installation, and next, volume. That's very interesting.
And I think that's one of the reasons our partnership has worked out so well, is that when we first met, I was very impressed with your quick turnaround time. What I was impressed with was your ability to control the glass fabrication process from start to finish, which was at the time about half of the lead time I had with other vendors. So that was a big part of back to the quick in and out. People don't want to be out of a bathroom, including a shower door, for very long. So the fact that we can do our job and then get the glass installed in less than 2 weeks is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's very nice. And we are doing some investments in new machine, and we're gonna drop this for probably 5 business days or 4 business days. It's gonna be a game change for the market for sure.
Yep, that'd be even better. And when people use traditional bypass doors that we purchase from you as well, that can be start to finish in a day or two, but it's when we get custom glass enclosures and you do beautiful work with really any kind of design.
Yeah, we have some pictures here. Look how complicated that one with the neo angle, a lot of challenge, and we are able to do the same one as a simple one on the same time. That's something very interesting, and that's very nice, Dave. Another thing that I want to talk to you, when you develop new vendors or new suppliers, what is important to you? How you do that? How you select people to work with?
Yeah, I always start with vendors and employees. I start with integrity. If an employee or candidate doesn't have integrity and I see any indication of that, I do background checks and drug testing on everyone. If I don't see that from the get-go, I don't care what kind of skill set they have. It stops there. And the same with the vendors. Really doing bath remodeling is very different from a lot of the other construction, especially exterior construction. When you have some team members in your home, whether it's for a day or two or longer, I need to know, and the customer needs to know, that someone that you can trust, that someone that I tell my customers is people that I trust in my own home, and they're all background checked and drug tested, clean cut, ethical people that want to get it right the first time. But if it doesn't start with integrity, same with vendors. One thing, you and I hit it off right away, just really see the world in a lot of very similar ways, and integrity is number one with both of us, and that's why we work so well together.
Yes, very nice, very nice. It's been a pleasure to work with you. I guess we started in 2023, almost a couple years or 2 years and a half, right?
Sure.
We did thousands of showers together with the bypass and the customs. And how are you dealing with labor? Because we've seen a shortage of good installers and people to work with. We have challenges here as well to hire new people. How you treat that? How are you working with subcontractors? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that's been a challenge for 17 years, especially in the state of Florida. I think it's been a challenge throughout the entire country to find good labor installation, especially in the country. It's just 30 years ago, there was a lot more people coming out of high school that wanted to get into the trades. And over time, there's a lot more people that are, wanting to get into computers, information systems, AI now. And so there's a lot lower supply of younger people that want to get into the trades. So I will say it's always been a challenge, and especially in the state of Florida where there's not the greatest reputation for especially contractors. But that's one thing that's made us very different is no matter how difficult it's been to hire, we haven't lowered our standards. We always background checked, drug test, clean cut people that are really good at what they do. Because once you compromise that, you compromise your brand and the trust that customers have, and I'll never do that.
Our values has to come first, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, and I tell for everybody, we would prefer grow more slowly, but grow on the correct way and with the right people that represents our brand as we want, as our reputation, basically on that. Now, I've seen you guys have a bunch of very nice and Google reviews, and that's a trophy for any business owner, because that's the recognition for the customer. Say, oh my gosh, I love this company, I'm gonna invest my time and write a review. How you guys are treating that? Do you have a team who calls all customers after you finish the job? How you do the customer service after installation?
Yeah, we always call every customer regardless, make sure they had a great experience, that we did a superb job, see if there's anything else that we can do for them. As part of that process, and the vast majority of the time, people aren't just happy, but they're elated, and that's our goal, is to have feedback that it's the best company that I've ever worked with in my home. And we hear that a lot. We're spoiled to get that, but we do ask for reviews, and I think a lot of people don't realize that is such a strong, independent indicator of how good a company is.
Of course.
We've had a 4.8 out of 5.0 stars with Google, for example, for many years, for as long as I can remember. And if you think about that, there's so many things that can go wrong with any project, and to have people that happy after being in the intimacy of being in the privacy of their own home, and to look at every square inch of the shower to make sure it's just perfect. Same with the shower glass. I'm sure you get the same thing where people are looking with microscopes to make sure it's done just right. That's very different from people that do roofing or siding, that
of course
the roof looks great, the windows look great. They're not looking for every minor detail of that.
Yes.
So, but that's we do ask for reviews, and people are more than happy to do that because they're so grateful that we did a phenomenal job for them. And that usually leads to doing the second and maybe third bathrooms as well, which is nice for both of us.
That's very nice. Congratulations.
How do you guys get to your
we have our team who take care of the schedule for installations. For example, when we are doing a sale for a homeowner or through a contractor, as we do through you, we are serving luxury bath, but at the end of the day, the final customer is your customer. And we have a person that is responsible just to take care of the relationship with the customer after sale until the installation. And then we keep the communication very well with all the steps during like fabrication process, pre-schedule for installation, because we have a very organized process, since we control with the factory when we sell the glass for you or for a homeowner, we already know when we are going to manufacture that glass, when we are going to temper that glass, and when the glass will be ready. And the only way for us to have to reschedule the install if an accident happen, like a breakage during a tempering furnace or an accident when we are handle glass, because it's a fragile product and that can happen, but it's very difficult to happen. I would say probably 2-3 pieces every 1,000, but could be one customer in specific, you know, and we are very clear with that. And based on that communication, and since we work very well with the schedule, and then the team very clean, nice, everybody's our own employee, we don't work with subcontractors. A lot of customer does not know that the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation require company that works with glass being licensed, and I'm not talking about the business tax license that people get on the county. I'm talking about the Tallahassee guys who is gonna give you a specialty contractor license or GC license. We are GC, we can do anything, but we are focused on the shower door. That's our business, you know, and people don't realize hundreds of companies out there, they are not legit, because that's a big point. Do you know, people is selling glass or selling renovation without the properly licensed, insured, and the customer try to save maybe, in my case, some hundreds, in your maybe some thousands, because your average ticket is bigger, but they have no idea what is the risk they are putting themselves to hire an unlicensed contractor, do you know?
Oh, that's a huge thing. And like I said, I've been doing this for 17 years, and I can't tell you how many times I've run across customers, people that have been you know, basically lost their money by hiring people that were frauds, you know, or people that weren't licensed or doing the jobs illegally. Same as you, we don't use subcontractors. We use our own employees to do all the work from start to finish, demolition, reconstruction, finish work, plumbing. We're licensed plumbers, and we're licensed in plumbing and as a general contractor.
Very nice.
So just like American Shower Glass, we can build skyscrapers, but we choose to focus on the bathrooms.
Yeah, that's the business.
But not having, you know, I think using your own employees is key, because that's the only way as a business owner that you can control the process from start to finish. When you get into subcontractors, that's the challenge, because most people don't want to have multiple people and have finger pointing, and having your employees do the work from start to finish is mission critical.
And it was very funny, you were talking about to control the process to start to finish. And I remember like 5-6 years ago when I bought American Shower Glass. American Shower Glass was like a smaller glass installation company, which generate leads, goes, take the measurements, and then send the project for outsource company to do the manufacturing, and then receive the glass and go back and install. And since I came from marketing sales, that was my whole career, selling software, but I knew the things, how to structure CRM, a sales machine. I started to do that, and I started to grow the company, and the problems starts to grow together. More customer, more problem, because the company who was manufacturing the glass for us was manufactured, for example, imagining a wall with a out of plumb on the bottom, like a 1/4 inch. And we send the drawings to them to manufacture. When they manufacture, they upside down the panel, for example, and when we send our guys to do the installation, the glass doesn't fit.
Right.
Because people made a mistakes on the fabrication.
Right.
And we said, oh my gosh, how are we gonna grow? If we don't control the factory process, we will not be able to grow, because if every 10 jobs I send to them to manufacture, 3 come back with problem, how am I gonna have a reputation? How am I gonna deliver what I promised regarding timeline? And the customer has an expectation. They just finished the renovation. They want to use their shower, do you know?
Right.
And it was in 2021, and I said to my wife, the first person I say, we are going to start our own factory. She said, are you crazy? Are you on a retail and you want to go to the factory, the manufacturer said, if we don't do that, we are not going to grow.
Right.
And then I remember I always live it close by here on the West Chase, and I was looking for a warehouse. And when I found this unit, I said, I'm gonna rent and then I'm gonna start. And my wife said, oh my gosh, are you crazy? I said, no, I'm gonna do that. And we figured a way. We hired people with the knowledge. We bought the machinery, the first generation. We are on the second one and investing in the third generation machinery to improve even more our production. A lot of software working right now, AI. We are very automated company. And that's being scale our operation very well, keeping the quality of the service, and that has been a game change for the market.
Yeah.
Are you guys using AI right now? What are you guys implementing on that?
We are to a certain extent. With especially in marketing channels, we don't do auto dialer type of things. That's annoying. We want to just be real people when we have a conversation, and people want to set an appointment and consider doing business with us. But that's the one thing about construction is computers and AI is never going to remodel the bathroom for them.
Of course.
But it can streamline some things in the back end a little bit. But it is one of those industries that I think is going to be less impacted by AI than some others are. But it's funny the things that you were saying. I think that's why we get along so well. Is one, we both come from non-construction backgrounds here in information systems, accounting, CPA, and I think that's why we look at the industry a little bit different than others that might have grown up in the industry and are just used to the way it was always done. Both of us have really been innovative in the way we approach it, from doing all of it our own or by ourselves or without subcontractors is a huge game changer in both of our businesses.
It is. It's been a very nice journey for me at American Shower Glass. We participate for the first time for the Inc. 5000 list, and we made the list. We were on the 3,116 into the United States. Imagine it's 33 million of businesses, and we were on the top 5,000 in growing in revenue. We are on a 63 in Tampa Bay, 195 in the whole construction industry.
Awesome.
And 276 for the whole Florida.
That's great.
It's been a very we are so proud for this recognition because it's proof that what we are building is strong, is solid, and we are just the beginning. The next 5 years is going to be very fun. We are going to open locations throughout the United States. And a lot of people is going to hear a lot from American Shower Glass because our plan is to become the biggest custom-made shower glass door and enclosure for the United States. We are going to grow throughout the United States using our same factory, same hardware distribution company, and we are going to explode for sure.
It's a proven business model. You perfected the original, and now you just gotta rinse and repeat.
Exactly that.
Just like the first McDonald's did, right?
Yes. And do you have a marketing team that you generate your own leads, or do you use an agency? How are you managing that part of lead generation?
We do a lot of internal marketing, but we also work with a few external companies as well with web-related, search, SEO, paid search. But now the world's really changing. Again, this is where AI does come into play between all the different social media accounts and optimizing what works and what doesn't. And obviously you want to spend more and focus more on what does work and eliminate the things that are less effective.
Yes. And one of the things that shocked myself when I moved to Brazil to here, that's okay, Brazil, nobody else pay anybody else using a check. And nobody else even had to think about to mail a check through, okay, I'm gonna mail a payment for somebody else, And when I got my first house here and I saw the mailbox, a lot of postcards, home improvement magazines and magazines from stores, and I thought, oh my gosh, that should work because people invest a lot of money in printings and delivering the mailbox. And then we start to do some tests in home improvement magazines and postcards, and it works pretty well. We never did TV. I don't know if you guys did TV to generate leads. Share a little bit more about what you did, what worked and what didn't work.
We've done some TV, really in the Florida market that's been really oversaturated. There's a lot of players in the Florida market that once you get too many, it gets oversaturated. It gets annoying to people to see too many bathroom related commercials. But we've done a handful of that. But I think it's better to have commercials and videos that show what you're doing, but more on demand, more through streaming services.
I see.
And then you can do a little bit more target marketing, which is more effective as well than broadcast on general broadcast stations throughout the area. So
it's very nice. It's very nice. And
have you what kind of marketing? Where do you get most of your leads? Do you have a lot of direct retail, or do you work with a lot of companies like us?
We have like 10% our volume comes through contractors, and 9% come through homeowners. That's how we balance right now. But what's happened? We tried to increase our volume through homeowners, doing more paid ads and then print ads, and specifically this year, which is a little weird regarding a lot of things happens regarding economy. People, was a war, what's going on, inflation, and people is holding a little bit more than the previous years. I don't know if you feel that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, inflation, interest rates being high.
Yes.
We suffered 2 major hurricanes a year ago that really we're still feeling the impacts on as a state, especially as the Tampa Bay area. That was devastating to a lot of people, and it had a lot of trickle-down effects.
Yes, and then because of that, our customer acquisition cost went up because people were looking to see, oh my God, how much is gonna cost for me to replace my framed enclosure to a brand new frameless or ballpark stuff, and say, I'm thinking to remodel my shower, but I need to figure it out how much this is gonna cost. Should they take the decision if they're gonna dive into a renovation or not, And I feel the conversion rate drops a little more, and the customer acquisition cost rose significantly.
No, for sure, and all that is true, and a lot of players in Florida, and a lot of people come and go, especially in the state of Florida, within all sorts of remodeling, throughout the remodeling industry. So. But the customer acquisition cost is way up, and that's probably the biggest challenge for us. Is just we're a great company. We do phenomenal work. We've always been the highest rated with all the independent agencies, Better Business Bureau, Google, Angie, what have you, Home Advisor. It's just the trick is to have people find us and for us to find each other. And once we do, they have a phenomenal experience, and that's a great marriage. We just got to find each other.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. Can you share an experience that you had with us, for example, with a challenging customer, and then we had to work together to solve an issue or something like that? How we went? We went well in your view. Do you like to partner with us on that part? Do you have anything that we can improve to give you a better service?
Yeah, we've done several thousand jobs together, and there's some people that are very difficult to please. Even if Luxury Bath does everything exactly as they were supposed to do, and American Shower Glass does everything as they had planned to do and committed to do. Some customers either thought it was going to be different, or misremembered, or miscommunicated, whatever it has, and things are going to happen when you're doing thousands of jobs. But one thing that I've been very impressed with working together is we both have the same mentality of running towards the problem, not away from it. And I don't think there's too many people in our industries that take that mentality. So one thing that you and I share that vision, and when we've had a handful of customers, just recently did everything spot on to contract, but they really just didn't like the type of glass. They got one type of glass and wanted a different, even though the contract and what they picked was exactly as we delivered. But you just have to run towards the problem
and solve the problem.
Win people over, and whatever it takes, and we both share that philosophy.
Yes, that's true. We are a customer-oriented company. The satisfaction is the most important thing for us, because we believe that if we have to pay to acquire a new customer for every sale, this is not a sustainable business for a long term,
Yeah.
And the other way for us to get business is doing the things right and then get referrals and then a repeat customer, and for us to grow in this direction, we need to deliver a good service, And do you have too many customers that repeat and buy from you again? How is your rate? For example, okay, I have like a 10% of my monthly renovations comes from a repeat customer or from referrals. How is that?
It's probably in that ballpark. The problem is I wish that everyone had 50 bathrooms because we do a phenomenal job and they want us to do the second bathroom. And then if they have a third, the third bathroom. But you get to a point where they only have 3 bathrooms. We have a lifetime warranty on all of our work, and there's really nothing else that we can do for them other than, if they sell their home and move, then we might do a few more bathrooms. But the biggest thing is them referring friends and family, because again, it's just finding each other. They want their friends and family to have a great experience like they had. We want great customers like them, and in trying to avoid, because the marketing cost is a problem, not just for us, it turns into a problem for everyone. That just makes our costs go up, which makes the pricing go up for all consumers as well. And if we can keep the marketing costs down, we can keep our costs down, and it's just about finding each other in an efficient way to deliver exceptional experience, at very reasonable pricing.
That's very good. That's good, Dave. Thank you so much. What's gonna be your final advice for people who is watching us when they are selecting partners? What is your a quick partner advice for the people? Okay, when you are looking for a new partner, do this besides the integrity, visit the company, check the people who is working. What else?
The nice thing about technology, and including especially with AI, is you can very quickly do some research without a lot of effort. In 5 or 10 minutes, I would do a little research, Google best acrylic companies in the Tampa Bay area, or certainly if you're going to consider luxury bath, type in luxury bath of Tampa Bay. You'll quickly see instantly reviews, 4.8 out of 5. Go look at raving reviews, and then if you're considering another company, do the same thing. ABC company, type them in, and you see a 4.1. I would never do business with someone that had a bad online presence, and you can't cheat the system with that. That's what if I'm looking to do something, a kitchen or a roof, I'm always going to look at Google reviews and look at independent, objective ratings to see what kind of company it is, and not just the rating of 4.8, but how many have they had? If they've only had 5 reviews, they're a very young company that buyer beware. But once you start seeing several hundred reviews, then this is an established company. And that doesn't mean you only have several hundred customers, because realistically, even people have a great experience and you ask for reviews, people are busy. I would say you probably get less than 10% actually do reviews.
Last 5, I guess.
So if you see a company like us that has 400 reviews, there's probably 100 times that of customers that we've done over the years. It is what it is, But if there's only a handful of reviews, it's a sign of a very young company.
Yes, and one of the things that we like to educate the customers in the market is do your own research, as Dave is telling. If you are hiring a bath remodel contractor or a shower door, goes on myfloridalicense.com, do a research to make sure that the company is legit, if they are licensed, You have to check if they have a workers' compensation, because a lot of the company has the exemption, which means the business owner of the company is covered, but they don't work themselves. They have another people working, They are not covered. If any accidents happen into your house, you're gonna be liable for that.
That's one of the reasons they use subcontractors. They get subcontractors that are jumping around, that may or may not show up on time, they may or may not do good work, but they're oftentimes people that just decide to be workers' comp exempt, and what consumers don't realize is that they're liable if something were to happen. I don't play that game. I use my own employees do the work. They're covered in our work. Then you're required to have workers' comp insurance through the state of Florida.
Of course.
Customers know that they're protected. We know that we're protected. Everyone wins.
It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's the most important part. And then specifically for the glass industry, every company who manufacture the glass, they have to be licensed as a SGCC, is a number for the worldwide glass business, which means that the furnace who run the tempering is under all the requirements for, if we have a breakage, the piece of the glass has to be shattered in smaller particles for not hurt the person.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of companies out there, not licensed, selling cheaper glass that is not tempered on the correct furnace, that can put the customer in a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
We are talking about something that you can die. Imagine a piece of glass without the correct temper.
Right.
It can be like a big knife with 50 pounds against your body. You can die.
It's really scary, dangerous, very.
Very dangerous. That's why you have to work with legit companies when we are working with glass, guys. That's my biggest advice for you.
Yeah.
Sounds good?
Absolutely.
Dave, I appreciate you come. That's our first episode. I deserve a lot more success for Luxury Bath, and then your partnership takes forever for we do thousands and thousands of projects together. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching, and waiting you guys on the next episode. Thank you.